Welcome to the lecture series on soft computing in computer science. In the previous presentation, what we have seen is the theoretical understanding about how to develop the MATLAB code for implementation of the backpropagation neural network model with a specific case study related to iris flower classification. Here in this presentation, we are going to see the actual MATLAB demo of the code as well as the execution as well as the graphs as well as how to decode the results with respect to the iris flower classification. The same code, but rather than in the PPT but in the MATLAB environment, I am going to discuss it now. We could see that I already told that whenever I start writing a code, it is my best practice to include these three statements: CLC, clear all and close all. I have given enough information about what is CLC, what is clear all and what is close all in the previous presentation itself. So, next to begin with, what I have to do is I have to load the data. So, please look at the highlighted text that load iris data will load the data file. So, where the data file, see, look at it, the data file is here. So, how the data file is created? I already told you have to go to the UCI machine learning repository. From the UCI machine learning repository, look for the data what we are going to work with. So, download the data and look into the data whether it is in the format that is supported by the programming environment. Since I am using the MATLAB environment, so the data that is downloaded will be a format that is needed for the MATLAB. So, the latest version of MATLAB will incorporate all kinds of data format, but to begin with, this data format that I supported here is a .m file. So, this is the data. If you look at it, first column, second column, third column, fourth column, fifth column, sixth column and seventh column. So, out of the 7 column, first 4 column corresponds to the input variable, the last 3 columns correspond to the output category. So, when I load the MATLAB data into the MATLAB environment, so it is loaded into the workspace window. See the workspace, and now the workspace window is empty. When I load the data gets loaded. So, in the MATLAB there is a speciality, I can command the lines and I can run whatever I want. In that line itself I can do. So, I will command, I will make the command, then I am going to run up to this. So, the run button is there. So, you have to click this. So, initially the workspace window is empty, see here in the left side. Now, the MATLAB is showing the busy tone here, see the busy tone is there in the bottom. Now, the data is loaded, see now the workspace window is loaded with the data. So, how many rows are there? 150 rows, and how many columns are there? 7 columns. So, the data is loaded here. The data is loaded in the name of the data itself, iris data, right. So, first column corresponds to sepal length, petal length, sepal width, petal width. So, 4 columns. So, these 3 output columns corresponds to output category. So, now the data is loaded, but in order to do programming, the data that is loaded into the workspace environment should be assigned to a variable. In order to assign it to a variable, we have another command called xy iris data. Let me uncomment this xy iris data. Now, if I run this statement, I will create, see in the workspace window xy a variable is created, right. So, that is 150 cross 7. So, what is the information available in the iris data.m file? The same information is available in the xy. So, this is the purpose of these 2 commands. First command is load iris data.m, second command is xy is equal to iris data. It means that iris data is completely loaded into the xy. So, now the xy is the variable which holds the entire data and it is clearly seen in the workspace window. Now, what is the next step? Now, the xy is the complete matrix that contains the whole data, which includes both the input as well as output. So, the next step is divide the input as well as the output. Let me uncomment this. See, x is the variable that is going to have the input, y is the variable that is going to have the output. So, what is the size then? since the input is 4 variable, 150 cross 4, that is the size of the x, and what is the y, 150 cross 3. Let me execute this. Now look at the workspace window. Now I got x, let me open that, that is only the input alone, now the output. Now the x contains only input. Let me check the y, y contains the output alone, so the 3 categorical value, right. So this is how the input and output has been separated from the matrix xy. Now what is have to be done? We have to do the testing and training data separation, that is testing input, testing output, training input, training output. What is the naming convention that is followed in this code? X is input, so x1 and x2, x1 is for training, x2 is for testing, y is for output, so y1 is for training and y2 is for testing. So in that way the training and testing data has been separated. So first the separation is here as per the code, x2 y2 from the x, for each 2 the data is separated. So let me execute this code. Now look at the workspace window, x2 and y2 has been generated. See x2 75 data, see if you look at it, 75 cross 4 out of the 150 cross 4, that is in the x. Now x2 is created with 75 cross 4 and y2 is 75 cross 4, and there is a simple logic here it is used in order to make that space as empty. Now if you see x, if you will see x is containing 150 data, look at the workspace window and see the x is containing 150 data, but x2 is containing 75 data, right. So now what we have to do is we have to do the input separation. Let me uncomment this and I will do it. So in that specific location, now the x contains 150 and y contains 150, but x2 contains 75, y2 contains 75. Now that location where that x2 is separated from x1, that location I have to make it as an empty matrix, right. So after executing this command, now xy become 75. Now I execute this, see look at it in the workspace window. So in the workspace window x is 150 cross 4, see 150 cross 4. After executing this, now the x comes 75 cross 4, right. So this is the idea behind separating the data between input and output, testing and training. Now in order to have the naming convention, that x1 and y1 is used for training as well as x2 and y2 is used for testing. See simple and assignment statement. So if we look at it, simple and assignment statement, that x is assigned to x1, y is assigned to x2. See look at the workspace window, x is 1, x2, y1, y2. Now we are completely ready with data part. So the next stage is network creation, but before network creation what we have to ensure is we have to ensure the data normalization. So this is the code for data normalization. Data normalization has to be performed both for x1 as well as for x2, because the x1 and x2 contains only the continuous value. So those continuous value has to be normalized, or that has to be scaled within a predefined range uniformly across all the variables. In order to make the uniformity among the variables, or in order to avoid the dominance of higher valued variable over the lower valued variable. So this is what carried out. Let me check the first x1 for which the logic is carried out here and comment. I will execute this portion, watch the workspace window. So if you watch the workspace window, the new variable x1 and x2 has been created, see x1n. So now I open x1, x1 contains 5.8, 2.7, 5.1, 1.9 like those values. Now look at it, the x1n, see the x1n, all the variables has been converted into uniformly between 0 to 1. See this 5.8 is a normal value, but this is 4.1 is a normalized value, right. So this is the raw value 5.8 and this is the normalized value for which all the things. So this is what you have to carry out for x2 also, but for y1 and y2 there is no need, because already it is a 1 0 0 0 1 0 like that and all. So, it has to be calculated like that. So, let me uncomment this and I will execute this. Now, look at the workspace window, see y1 and look at y1 is 1 0 0 0 because it is output category, and y1n is also 1 0 0. So, no more difference is there, because already both are in the discrete that is binary values. So, it is a category to mention the 3 different categories. So, no need for the conversion formula need to be applied for the variable y1 and y2. Now, same thing is have to be converted for x2. We have x1, look at the workspace, we have x1, but we have the parallel x1n, that is a normalized, but we do not have x2 because we did not perform the normalization for the x2. So, here is the code that perform the normalization for the x2 and comment, and I am running the again. Look at the workspace window, now the x2n will come, see x2 is there, now x2n will come. If you open x2, it is a continuous value 6.3, 3.3, 6, 6.3, 3.3, 6, 2.5 like that value is there, right. Now, let me open this x2n, see it is normalized to 0 to 1, 0.5, that is this 6.3 is normalized to 0.5556. So, that is the idea. So, again I am insisting that the idea behind the normalization, right. Now, this command is to read the CPU time. Let me uncomment it. CPU time, let me check what is the value in the T1. So, it will record the current time of the CPU. Let me check in the workspace window what is T1. Yes, now the T1 is, look at it, 557.5313. So, that is the current CPU time. Why we need to record this? In order to note down how much time the code has been taken for training and how much time the code has been taken for testing. In order to note down these two things, we have been using this statement in order to record the CPU time. Now, the T1 is the current CPU time. So, now we are going to do a task of creation of a network. So, what is the creation of this? Complete code is meant for creating the network and initializing the network and command. So, here this code and all the previous presentation we have explained and we have given enough information. So, two functions you have to make it remember. One is new FF, creating the new feed forward neural network which has these much values that is to be passed, and the init is the none that is going to initialize the net. So, now I am going to execute this. See here in the command window I got something that means new FF is a obsolete function in the new version, but anyhow still it has been working with. Now, the network is created, see network is created, this is the network. So, neural network, how many dimensions and everything is created. I can visualize this also, but this is the editor window. In the editor window we can see this only this neural network, how many dimensional connections, sub objections, functions. So, everything you can see here. So, the network is created, that means initialized. So, now this initialized network has to be trained. So, this bunch of code is meant for network training. So, before training what we have to do? We have to do the initialization of epochs, goal. So, on this method you should remember train. Train is the method for training the network. For training what we need? We need the net, net, that is the initialized net, x1n that is the normalized input, y1n that is the normalized output. So, we are doing this, then the training performance calculation has been carried out. Now, let us execute this bunch of statement. Yeah, yes. So, network training is happening, see the window, network training is happening. So, initial value as well as the current value as well as the target value, everything is recorded. So, initially the network, see the first unit epoch, initially we start with the 0th epoch and we have planned to go up to 1200 epoch target, but at 533 epoch the network has stopped. That means it has achieved the suitable performance that what we have expected. So time is see 11 seconds it is showing, and the performance is initially the error between the actual output and the network output is 1.44, and what target we have mentioned? We have mentioned at 0.01 is the target, and we obtained this target 0.009 at 533 epoch. This is the gradient value, what is the target value we expected and what is the actual value. So validation check, it has failed because it is a very minimal amount of data. So training and testing is sufficient enough for such cases. So what is the network diagram that we have obtained is, we can click this network diagram, we can see the network diagram that is obtained. So this is the network that is created. See 4 input model, see 4 input and the weight and bias is given. So what is the activation function used and what is the 2 layer? This is the hidden layer and this is the output layer. So in general, while calculating the number of layers, we can include the hidden input layer also, but computationally input layer does not have any role. It just bypasses the input. So we can do computation in the hidden layer. This layer is hidden layer and this layer is output layer. So the output is containing 3 nodes. So this is the network diagram, and you can see the performance curve here by clicking the performance button. All the other options are also available. You can see here originally our error starts at here, and we have mentioned our goal is 10 to the minus 2, that is 0.01. So it reaches gradually the error, the gradient descent method that is illustrated in our previous presentation. Like gradient descent method, the error is gradually reduced and it reaches the target goal. At what iteration? At 533 epoch the error is reached, that is 0.009 has been obtained. So this is the way in which we have initialized the network, trained the network and simulated the network. Now we are ready with the trained network. Now this trained network has to be tested. So for testing, the command available is only these 3 things. Let me uncomment it. See, this sim command is meant for testing. In the sim command, net is given. What is this net? This net was trained net. So what is the net here? In the train function, this is the initialized net. What is this net here? This net is the network that is created. So the network that is created has to be initialized using the init command. The network that is initialized, that is trained using trained command. The network that is trained, that is going to be tested using the sim command. So during testing, what we need to give? We need to give only x2, and we are expecting small y. That small y is nothing but actual network output, the output produced by the network based on the sim command. Now this actual output y has to be taken for calculation of error. That is, the error is nothing but a mere difference between actual output, that is y2n or y2. So both are same, and y, and error is calculated based on the error value. You have to calculate the mean square error. So let me execute this portion. Look at it, I may get it. Training is going on. So every time I am running the code, right? So training is going on. Let me minimize this. See, what is this? Yeah, small y. Where is small y? Yeah, yes, here small y. So this is the small y. That is nothing but our simulated output, and we have y weight values, that is weight values for the initial layers, and the upper layers the weight values. So likewise you can see whatever the values that you got during the execution of the program. So we have come with initialization of network, training of the network, as well as testing of the network, but the output has to be aligned in such a way that we got how much data that has been correctly classified. We need to have that count, right? So we have 150 flower data. that 150 flower data has been divided into testing and training, training for 75 and testing for 75. So, training we have performed, but for testing we have given only the input and we are expecting the output. So, 75 numbers of simulated output we got and 75 numbers of actual output we got, and we have to make a comparison between the simulated output as well as the actual output, and based on the equal value between the S and actual, between the simulated and the actual, we have to increment the counter accordingly we have. So, before that we need to make a threshold value in order to convert that value into 0 and 1. So, this code is meant for converting the value into 0 and 1. So, if I open Y, that Y contains 3 cross 75, see 3 cross 75, but I need to do these calculation with respect to the class labels. So, I need a threshold value. So, here if in the code if you could see that the threshold value 0.5 is taken. So, below 0.5 it is one category, above 0.5 that is another category, accordingly the code logic is written. Now, you look at this Y, it is a 3 cross 75 without 0 and 1, because our neural network output layer will produce only the binary values zeros and ones. So, we need to have a threshold, accordingly we need to recode the output value. So, this is the logic that we did the recoding of the output value by means of simple threshold 0.5. So, this continuous value of Y, look at it, this continuous value of Y now is going to change into 0 and 1. I will open once again after executing the code. Look, 0.9, 0.95, 0.4, see these and all will be now going to change. So, every time it is executing, so we need to get that curve and all. Curve is training is going on, yeah, yes, let me minimize. Now, if I open this, that is small y, you can find a change. Yeah, yes, 100, 100. So, that means this is one category, this is one category, like that. So, now the complete value has been changed based on the threshold value of 0.5. Now, what we have to do? We have to align the values. That means, so now the logic is y of I, see 100, that is S of S value, 010, that is again S value 10. So, accordingly we need to do the calculations. So, this is the code that is meant for doing that idea. So, we need to do the S value as well as A value, that is we need to segregate the simulated output and we need to segregate the actual output. Segregated output is labeled with S, actual output is labeled with A. So, this is the code. See, first line code is simple Y, that is going to hold only the actual output, and that actual output is has been transposed. Next, Y2 is network output, then the network output has been converted into S and the actual output is converted into A. So, this 100 which is in the form of column has been converted into rows and columns, that is we make a simple transpose and that logic is made out. Now, if you see that small y is going to go and capital Y2 is also going to go, instead of that small y what we are going to get S, instead of capital Y2 what we are going to get, we are going to get A. So, this is the thing. So, instead of 00, instead of 100, instead of 10 we are going to get 1, instead of 010 we are going to get 2, instead of 001 we are going to, so this is the logic, this is the logic. Why logic? There are 3 categories, right? Instead of having the binary values we are converting it into a discrete value in order to signify 1 for iris setosa, 2 for iris virginica and 3 for iris versicolor, both for the actual output as well as for the simulated output. Let me execute this, we will get that S and A. After, see, every time the program is executing, after that we will get, yeah, yes. So, if you look at it where we got the S value, yeah, yes, this is yes, see 111, that means first floor. If you go through, there are some 2s, 2222, that means the second floor, 3333, there is some third floor. So this is the idea. What is A? Let me open that A also. What is this A? This is actual output, again the same value. So the binary value 100 is can be converted into discrete value as per this logic. Now we are going to have compare S and A. Where there is a match, a variable is set to increment the counter. That counter overall value will give you the number of classified data. Now I will uncomment this. I will do the code again. Now we have S1 matrix, A1 matrix, those two matrices has been compared here. S is compared with A. Wherever S and A are matching, that place we are incrementing the counter CC. CC is meant for correctly classified data, CC. CC value is incremented. Yes, I got it. Where is that CC? Yeah, CC is 72. That means out of the 75 data that has been taken for testing, 72 data has been correctly identified. That means there is a match between S and A among the 72 data. Only the 3 portions of data has been misclassified. So now we can make a graph using, and before that we can calculate the time, testing time. See, we have made T1 as one time here somewhere else, T1 that current CPU time, and we have recorded T2 as that time. So now if you subtract T1 and T2, we get the training time, and from T2 to T1 if you subtract it, you may get it the testing time. So we may calculate the training as well as testing time. So if you could see that, see training time is 13 seconds. See here training time. How it is calculated? First a variable is created that records the current CPU time. Next to after training another variable is created that records that current CPU time. The difference of the two will give you the testing training time. Likewise for testing time. So after that we have to plot. So the S matrix is plotted with blue circles. We have to make a hold on, and we have to make another plot in that same area. Actual value is plotted with red cross symbol. So this plotting and all will have been already discussed in the previous presentations, and we have given the title for the graph as well as the legend for the lines. So let me execute these things. This is graph that we are going to create for our own purpose. Apart from that, other graphs has been displayed by the MATLAB environment itself. Yeah, this is the graph. See, all the 50 data in the first category has been classified correctly, but here in the second category these 2 data there is a misclassified. If you could see that, there is a enlarge this, see these 2 data. So this is actually second category, but it has been wrongly classified as first category. See, this is first category. So if you could see that S and A matrix in that particular location, in S 1 is there, but whereas in A it has been 2. So likewise some mismatch is there, but all the third category has also be correctly identified. So this is the thing that we need to do all this kind of stuff, and this is the graph that you can obtain from the model itself. I think when you decode the result, see this is testing time. So totally 72 has been classified, and out of 72, so out of 75 72, so what is the accuracy? It is 96% accuracy. So that thing also you can make it as a code. So if you want to do the percentage calculation, you can make a code here, how much percentage you can do it. That means percentage is equal to CC divided by 75. So likewise you can make it, so then it will do these kind of calculations. You can enhance the code according to your convenience, according to your thing. So this is the way in which you can develop the MATLAB code for developing the backpropagation neural network model, and this model development has been illustrated with the help of iris flower data classification. The same code can be changed for other kind of applications. I will have 2 different applications. One is for intrusion detection, another one is for diabetes disease, that is one is in the network security, another one is in the healthcare. So those 2 presentations I will give in the next session, but here I want to give you one more thing, that is app. So if you look at the MATLAB window, there is an option called app. So here if you go to app, you can find lot of apps are there. here you can see the neural network pattern recognition app. So, this neural network pattern recognition app is the app that is helpful in developing the classifier model using the MATLAB application software. So, what we have discussed is code development, how the code is developed step by step according to the idea of the neural network model development, but anyhow the MATLAB is also supporting you to develop the model. So, in order to begin with, after opening the neural network pattern recognition tool, you can import any data. So, there are some sample data are available. So, I am importing the cancer data. So, cancer data I have imported. So, totally how many inputs are there? So, inputs, cancer inputs, if you see that, so there are 9 input variable, totally how many records? 699. In our iris data there are 4 input category, 150 data, but here it is 9 and 699 data are there. As well as cancer target, there are 2 output category. So, there we have 3 output categories, setosa, versicolor, versinica. Here we have 2 categories, maybe benign and malignant. So, there are 2 categories, total how many? 699 records. So, this is the example data that is available in the MATLAB environment itself, and in order to test, see here after loading the data has been loaded, 70% of the data has been used for testing, and 15 samples has been used for 15% is for validation and 15% for testing. So, layer size I have made 10, that is we can minimize or maximize. So, we can increase or decrease according to that precision that what you have got, what you need. So, training the network. So, I am training the network. This is another example data. So, training has been conducted. So, epoch is 1000. So, what are the values and what are the observations we got, everything we got here. So, this is the latest version, that version is MATLAB 2024 version A. So, that version has all these facilities. You can make the performance curve. See performance curve, training performance, testing performance, and the goal what we have said. So, this curve can be received, and we can create the confusion matrix. From this we can create a confusion matrix, so ROC curve. So, everything so we can generate the code also. If we click that, we want a simple script, you can generate, or you can a comprehensive training script, we can, so including deploy everything it will give MATLAB. So, this is the latest version, everything we will get it. So, this is the code generated by the MATLAB software for the demo data. So, how we have gone to this, we can go with the MATLAB toolbox, that is app. Recently it is been called, we can import the data, we can go for more example data also, we can do it. So, what you understand from this is the only thing that you need to work in order to develop the ANN model development is data. So, you need to understand the problem very clearly. Based on the problem statement, you have to generate the data, or you have to collect the data, you have to align the data, and you have to pre-process the data in which it has been accepted by the ANN model. So, after having given the information to the ANN model development, we can simulate the model development. And once again I will insist you that there are 4 major functions that are needed to develop the ANN model. One is new FF, creating the new feed forward neural network. Another one is init, to initialize the network, train, to train the neural network model, sim, to simulate the neural network. After having done all these things, you need to do some patchworks in order to create a graph, in order to visualize the results, in order to understand the CPU time, in order to understand what class has been misclassified. So, in order to know the training error as well as the testing error. So, all these stuff theories. So, you can divide the code into 3 major compartments. The first compartment is data loading as well as data separation, that needs your logic, that you need to do it some kind of logics with respect to that logic, the data has been separated. Latest part, visualization, result visualization, that you need to do some logics, how do you are going to present your data as an output, and the mid part you need to depend on the 4 major functions, right. So, with this I close the session, and thank you.